What's going on, college football land? This is UODuckBros back for another video. We're looking ahead to week 2 as we're sitting on a nice Tuesday evening. So, what's going on? We are playing against, and by we I mean the Oregon Ducks. I don't actually play for them. So, I guess
it's probably good that we don't.
Yeah, that would be definitely in the better interest of everybody if I didn't play. So, pretty much what's going on is we're traveling down to Virginia for, actually, strangely enough, a little tidbit of information. It's the first regular season football game that Oregon has played against an ACC team ever. So, yeah.
All right.
Weird, huh? You would have thunk over like 90-something years of playing football that we would have played them at least once, or somebody. I mean, there was that time that we played Wake Forest. That didn't go over very well.
Oh, the Seattle Bowl.
Yeah, the infamous game that doesn't exist anymore, but that is for a different time that we'll never talk about again.
Yep.
So, what's going on is going down to Virginia. It's going to be...
It'll definitely be a better test than Nicholls State.
Yeah.
So let's just get that out of the way.
But not by much. And this is why I say this. I've seen it all over Twitter. We got a bunch of Virginia fans. And, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're out of their minds for saying it because you want to get your team up for this type of stuff. But they're all, throwing the hashtag shock the world, beat Oregon. Oh, never heard that one before. Going duck hunting. Oh, never heard that one before either.
I think my eyes were about to roll out of my forehead when I saw those.
Well, we see it every week from everybody.
That's
it's like,
right.
Think of something original for once. But that's beside the point. So, the thing that really gets me is, I mean, I get the whole, shock the world or whatever, but how are you going to do that? How is the University of Virginia's football team going to do that? I get it. You beat BYU in week 1, but you only beat them 19-16. And BYU, let's just be honest, they're
decent.
They're not like the BYU when Max Hall was there. I can tell you that.
No.
Certainly not the same thing. Here's the stats. Here's the number crunching part of it. You barely scraped over 100 yards total rushing in that game. And you barely scraped over 100 yards passing in that game.
Mm-hmm.
You only scored 19 points. You gave up 16 points. That's not bad, but you're going to have to score a lot more than 19 points against Oregon. I'm sorry. And you're definitely going to have to rush for more than 100 yards, and that's probably not going to happen. And your defense is going to be running all day long. And Mike Patrick is going to be hoarse.
Get on those treadmills, boys. It's going to be a track meet.
I know it was against Nicholls State, but Oregon dropped 500 yards of rushing. And they do that kind of thing on the regular. I mean, you're looking at 300.
It doesn't matter. You can go into our conference and you can look at what we've done to teams like USC, who we gashed for 700 yards of offense, and over 350 of that was Kenyon Barner. So, I mean, it's not like this is just a Nicholls State thing or beating up on small teams. We do this every single week. And as much as I respect, Virginia, and they probably are a pretty decent football team. I don't know much about you guys.
What I do know is they went 4-8 last year.
I just don't see how you're going to win. And it's not just me talking mess or anything like that. It's just
you're just not going to.
There's a difference between being the number 2 team in the country and being unranked and scoring 19 points on a team that was also unranked. And your defense isn't very good. I don't think you're conditioned to see an offense like we run.
There's not really a lot of offenses in the ACC that are even like this in the first place. I mean, there's Clemson, Florida State. I mean,
neither one of them run as many plays as we run at the pace that we run it with the efficiency that we run it.
We've got Heisman, candidates with DeAnthony Thomas. I don't even think that I need to explain to you who that is. You already know who that is. Marcus Mariota. I'm sure you probably know who that is, too. You've seen the highlights. I mean, it explains itself, really.
Actually, just watch the Nicholls State video, and you'll get all you need to know about every single player that's going to be in this game, except for
Thomas Tyner.
Thomas Tyner is making his debut in this Virginia game, and I think it's going to be a big day.
We're talking about a kid who once rushed for over 700 yards and 10 touchdowns in one game. One game. There we go. It's hard to do that with these cameras.
You can say what you want about Oregon prep football. Probably not as strong as what you would consider in the South or even on the East Coast, but
or California.
Nevertheless, running for 700 yards and 10 touchdowns is
in a football game for anybody. That's a lot.
Pretty dang good. And he's a 5-star kid. He's a local kid, so we're really pumped about this kid. He seems like he's grasping the offense well, and he's 100%. He's healthy. He wants to go,
and he's gonna go.
And I can't wait because this kid is a burner. You think DeAnthony Thomas is fast? This kid is fast, and he's 205 pounds and he's 6 foot. He's a monster. He's drawn comparisons to Adrian Peterson. I'm really excited, and I think that's just another added weapon that you guys just probably aren't ready to see.
I think the other thing too, now that they got kind of the first game jitters out of the way, is I think you're going to see Oregon's defense tighten up a little bit because they played Nicholls State. I mean, it's really, really hard to get players up for a game like that. And I think that, the linebackers are going to tighten things up a little bit. They're going to try to dial up a bunch of pressure against your quarterback, who I don't really know. I mean, one game's kind of hard to determine how you feel about a guy, but the guy doesn't seem like he's a terribly prolific passer. And I think that, getting a bunch of pressure on a guy like that, he's going to get happy feet. And he's going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to say there's going to be at least one pick six in this game. There might be a special teams touchdown somewhere. I don't know.
We're going to score from all angles.
There's going to be a lot of big plays in this game, and Oregon's going to have probably all of them.
Make sure you watch out for Terrence Mitchell and Eric Dargan. Those two are headhunters. Hopefully they don't actually headhunt, but they lay the wood, and I expect there to be quite a few big collisions in this game. Maybe even a couple, I don't want to say unfortunate injuries or anything, but maybe a couple bell ringers. Who knows? But we're excited. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to see something other than Nicholls State, and the next week is the following week after that is the big one.
And
so,
completely unrelated note, huzzah to having Mike Patrick more than likely doing this game because it's going to be on ABC. So
yeah, that'll be awesome.
So, without further ado, I think we got pretty much everything out of the way because there's not a lot you can really say about Virginia football. Definitely more of a basketball school for those guys. So there's that. So I have to ask, what's your score prediction, and what is going to be the stat line for Mariota and for Thomas Tyner?
Well, I think for the first quarter or so, it's going to be relatively close. But I think by the second quarter and on, I think we're going to pull away pretty easy. I think the final score I'm expecting to be around, I'm going to go 55-10.
55-10?
55-10 Oregon. I'm going to say Marcus Mariota has a really efficient day. I think he's going to go, I expect around 18 or 19 for 20, throwing the ball for probably about 250. I think he's going to get another 100 yards or more on the ground, maybe a couple touchdowns himself. And I think Thomas Tyner gets over 100 yards, and I think he gets at least one score for his debut. He might even get a couple catches out of the backfield, might have some receiving yards, but I think he's going to be pretty efficient, and he's going to have a pretty big day.
All right. Yeah. Sounds like a pretty fair assumption to me. My stat line, I already said it on Twitter earlier today. I'm calling final stat line 56-10, so it's very similar. It's actually off by 1 point.
Wow.
But I called mine earlier, so I'm just rolling with it.
Think alike.
Exactly. So I think that it's gonna be an absolute dumpster fire out there. I don't see Virginia really holding pace for long. I think that they'll get a field goal in the first half and then a touchdown later on in the game when we start doing mass subs. So that'll kind of lessen the blow a little bit, getting in double digits. But I think Oregon's going to probably put up, I'm going to say, probably over 550 yards of offense, I'm thinking. Mariota, I'm going to say he's going to go for about 200 and, I'm going to say about 260 yards. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, about 85 yards on the ground with a score there, and then I'm going to say Thomas Tyner gets probably about 105 yards and a score, I think. I'm not going to I'm not gonna throw anything out there on receptions, but I mean, he might get a catch or two out there. But I don't think they're gonna throw him out there in like mass excess or
I think
anything.
they'll probably get between 9 and 10 carries.
Yeah, they're still gonna try to baby his knee a little bit because they don't want to just throw him out there just in case. So, but I think he's gonna break a big run, at least one big run.
Yep.
So that's what I'm calling. 260 in the air, 2 touchdowns, 85 on the ground, 1 touchdown. Tyner over 100 with a touchdown. 56-10, 55-10. Sounds like a plan to me. So we will see what happens on Saturday. This has been UODuckBros with another video. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
See you on the trail.